Just as I was finishing the Venus retrograde Newsbreak app, I see US, kind of a, well, yeah, kind of a silly USA Today article, and it says Harvard University and what was it? NYU, New York University, find that the next pandemic will come from meats originating in the U.S. So, could be a narrative prepping in the making here. So, those of you who follow my channel regularly, you've probably heard me say that there's a possibility that there'll be some attempt at a new scamdemic, a new plandemic. And the time frame I gave for this was, probably the end of November, like November 28th. So October the 14th, we're going to have a solar eclipse. It's going to be, around 23, 25 degrees Virgo. Virgo, sign of health, healthcare, diseases, medicines, poisons, all that stuff. Public health. And then, so when that eclipse happens, K2 is going to be at 0 Libra. And the nodes, Rahu, K2, they move backwards. They move the opposite way. They move, what is it? Clockwise. So they move clockwise through the zodiac. So instead of going from Aries to Pisces, they go in reverse order. So, yeah, that eclipse will be featuring K2 at 0 Libra, conjunct with the fixed star Spica. So I think, and then it won't be till the 28th of November when K2 goes into Virgo. So, in my opinion, we're going to be through this whole, plandemic time, but it doesn't mean that, legacy dinosaur media won't say it's going on at the behest of their sponsors, like the legal drug dealers. And I think if they do say that there's a pandemic, what it's going to be the side effects of the needlecraft. That's going to be the sickness. And it'll be, when they start kicking in, when this genetic corruption from the needlecraft starts kicking in. So, if it's widespread and common, they're going to have an explanation. It's going to be, a pandemic will be the explanation for these, side effects that are coming from genetic corruption. So, don't buy the hype. Most of you in my audience are not going to buy the hype, but, spread the word. Hell, spread the video. So, yeah, in this article, they said all, most horrific viruses have originated in animals like, like HIV and Wuhan cooties, and, they mention those by name, which a lot of us have different ideas about their origins. Let's keep it at that. For good reason, we have these ideas. So somebody could be prepping a narrative that, the next big cooties came from the U.S. meat supply and spread through people. Now, there's some truth to that. My thumbnail, it's a photo of cows and feedlots. Animals are treated horrendously, and, for a lot of the population, they don't give it a second thought. So, what I would tell you here is, if you haven't done this already, for other reasons, eat organic meat, buy organic meat. It's more expensive. But what I would tell you is you don't need to eat so damn much of it. You don't need a porterhouse steak. You don't need a whole prime rib. You don't need a whole T-bone. You don't need a whole sirloin. You don't need a whole New York strip. You can't digest more than 4 ounces of beef in one go. So, you're just you're just being a glutton eating more than that. It's going to get lodged in your colon, your gallbladder. It's going to make you fat. So you don't need that much. That's the thing. I mean, in the winter, you need more meat, but the rest of the year, you don't need a whole lot. Really a big steak should feed a whole family, like a family of four, maybe even five. Um, get your potatoes, get your root vegetables, get your other vegetables. So, yeah, I would say if you haven't switched to organic meat already, just do it because you never know what the fuck. Um, Farm animals that are raised and processed, by this agribusiness. Here's one thing. What is it? It's Smithfield pork, which produces something like 60% of the pork for the US. Maybe it's 40%, but it's some huge, I think it's 60%. Some huge portion of the pork in the US. It's fully owned by the fucking Chinese. So I wouldn't, if you're still eating that, I wouldn't be eating that. If you're going on road trips, make some food, bake some dense muffins, make some sweet potato muffins. I do stuff like that. Bring a few Tupperwares of them, eat stuff like that. Buy some jerky, buy some Epic bars. Um, don't eat the trash that you find on the road. Like I said, I think if some pandemic thing seems to pop up, it's needlecraft side effects, or who knows? Because fucked up bacteria and viruses are already going around, feedlots, because these animals, they're fed poorly, they're treated poorly, they're full of antibiotics. They have no immune systems. Between the antibiotics and the poor sanitary conditions and the poor quality of food, they have no immune system, so there's all kinds of crazy pathogens flying around. But something could easily be distributed and given to these animals so humans will eat it and get sick. It's not outside the realm of possibility. So just put this one on your radar because it's like it could be that somebody's already manufacturing a backstory. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go do weekend stuff. Have a nice one.